My name is Nick Benson with Federal Hybrids, and today I'm going to give a little bit of an agronomic update on corn rootworm damage. There's a few things I'm seeing out here in the field in the last 2 to 3 years that is a little bit of a concern to me, and that specifically has to do with corn rootworm damage in continuous corn fields. So if we are seeing corn on corn for over 5 years, I have been seeing some overwhelming of the rootworm trait technology. I don't think there's any question that we have some excellent rootworm trait technology. Two of the main ones are Duracade as well as Smart Stacks. Those traits do a very good job of controlling against corn rootworm. Much better than insecticide year in and year out, and really do a fantastic job. However, when we do continue to do corn on corn, we can get an overwhelming situation where we have just too many rootworm larvae that are feeding on that root before they die, and that can really become a problem, especially when you have a drought year, and in a year like this year, 2020, where we do need those feeder roots. Oftentimes the corn may be standing fine, but we end up with yield loss because there's not those roots down below to get that moisture we need. So to assess that, late August into September is actually a really easy way. Now there are yellow sticky traps you can set up in fields and do scouting that way, and definitely root digs. I still think root digs are the best way to do it. Dig up roots, 3 to 4 locations, 5 roots per location, score them. But there is an easier way, and that is to go out in these fields right now and start looking around for beetles. And so what I did is I pulled a husk back just couple minutes before starting this video, and usually when you do that you'll see rootworm beetles start feeding on that because it's just more succulent. I don't know if you can see right there, there's a western bean cutworm. Westerns have white or black stripes on them. Northerns have, oh there's one on my arm, northerns have they're just lime green without any stripe. There he goes. But here's, see, they really like, whoop, I broke that off too much. But you can see them flying around here. They really like that succulent ear. I'll just lay that there. Maybe we'll get a few more to start eating on it. And then the other thing to take note of, so one, just look for beetles. And if there's a tremendous amount of beetles flying around, you know that can potentially be a problem for next year. But the other thing you'll see is that. Okay, so if you look at this, people look at that and say, well, maybe that's just a northern corn leaf blight or nitrogen deficiency, and they don't quite identify that correctly. But if you look at this, what it is, it's called window pane feeding. And what that is basically these beetles will come along and they'll literally just scrape the top photo or chlorophyll out of this leaf because it's a succulent food source for them. And so this is where these rootworm beetles have window pane fed, and oftentimes they'll feed through that and then it'll break. It almost looks like hail damage. But one way to tell that it is that window pane feeding is if there's a lot of rootworm beetles around. So this is a good time, late August, 1st of September, to get out and assess corn rootworms, especially if you're in that 4, 5, 6 year rotation. We need to start managing that a little bit more closely. So we could come out and spray insecticide over top right now, which is expensive. The best option for sure is to rotate, go into a bean crop or an alfalfa crop the next year. Or the other option would be to put insecticide down with your Smart Stacks for next year if you need to plant corn again. But I would recommend just planting beans. Start rotating one field of beans into your crop to help with that. Let's see if we got any more on this here now. There, one just landed on it. They really like that new, oh, that's a northern there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but doesn't have any stripes on, and so he's just that lime green. That's a northern. But anyway, pay attention if you're doing corn on corn for over 5 years. So this is an agronomic update from Nick Benson here with Federal Hybrids.